Hey Dan, thanks for seeing me again today. First of all, I'm really excited about what we can do for you. But what I'd like to do is to start off by recapping what we talked about last Friday. Then I'd like to kind of switch some gears and talk about digital marketing, what that looks like today. Take a closer look at your business online. And what I found, did some homework. I'd like to share that with you. And at the end, I'd like to share with you what I believe would suit your business best. If it all makes business sense to you, I'd like to move forward with a partnership. Is that okay?
Sounds good.
Okay, great. First of all, a couple questions. As far as marketing that you're doing today, we talked about you're doing some coupons in the Marketeer. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. One of the things that I noticed Friday night after we left, my son actually had a high school football game, and I saw your sign at the football field.
Oh yeah, we found that out there.
And actually, I've seen that around town, so it looks like you're very involved in the community. Your ideal client, I believe we talked about last week, was weekly lawn care service. Some is what you really want to start focusing on, those weekly contracts.
Yep.
You have been in business here over 25 years in this market, and your growth areas are going to be going into Valley Forge and looking to potentially start doing some decks, some hardscapes, maybe some commercial business. Also, Dan, we talked about lighting and some custom patio work. Is that still the same?
That is.
Okay.
Everything.
And you said, in moving into those areas, the average job would be around $15,000.
That's correct.
Is that correct? Okay, great. Okay. So let's switch gears just a little bit and focus on what's happening in the digital space, if that's okay. You mentioned to me the last time we met that you would like to use social media more. Is that still correct?
Yes, I think it's important.
Well, you're not the only one that has, talked to me about digital marketing and how complex it is for today's small business owner. It can be very overwhelming, and especially if you're trying to do it yourself as well as run a business, it's hard to navigate that digital space. Wouldn't you agree, Dan?
Yes, it's very hard.
And it's also trying to figure out what will work. And with what you're doing now as far as multiple vendors that can actually help you in that space, correct? Okay. And not only is the digital space complex, shopping behaviors is very complex too. It's confusing. You don't really care how people find you as long as they find you. Is that correct?
Yeah, I just want them to call
you on the phone.
Yeah.
I agree. Well, what we found, Dan, is that consumers basically fall into three categories. You've got the basic digital consumer, and they pretty much already have someone in mind. They don't have a lot of time, so they're looking for a phone number or an address, something quick. And then secondly, you've got someone who is a digitally driven buyer, and basically they make their decision start to finish based upon the internet. They may look at some reviews on Facebook, they may go over to Yelp, and look at all sorts of different websites in terms of before they make a decision. And then thirdly, you have the eternal shopper. And basically what that person does, Dan, is they do lots of research. They're very, very informed, and they will get online and research everything before they make a buying decision. And you, like you said before, you really don't care where they find you as long as they find you, correct, Dan?
That is correct.
That's right, okay. The digital space really does not have to be that complex, Dan. We look at our potential customers and the people who are using the internet, and we kind of break them into two sections. There's people who are surfing the internet, and there's people who are actually searching the internet. Searchers are basically people who are actively looking for something, whether it be a product or service, or a name, a business name, hours, location, those kinds of things. Surfers are browsing the internet, maybe looking for a recipe, sports scores? Do you find that you're online a lot looking at different things, Dan?
Yes, when I have time, I like to look at ESPN and check the scores from last night's game, and the other sites I like to visit too.
Right, absolutely, and I do the same. I get online, like I said, and look at recipes and those kinds of things. And one of the things that we have found is that consumers now more than ever are using the internet to make a buying decision. About 80% of consumers now are using the internet to make a buying decision.
Wow.
So it's changed so much from, when I grew up, people went to the phone book or the newspaper, if you will, looking for, or maybe ask a neighbor or friend.
Yeah.
And Dan, one of the things that I'm proud of here at Haibu is that we have kind of making the digital space not so confusing. We've broken it down into about 3 different steps. And of those steps, we say that each step has a phase. And the first step is you really want to start with a strong foundation. So like I said earlier, the yellow pages, starting with your name, your address, and your phone number, and making sure that those listings are correct online. And then secondly, you want to make sure that once those listings and that foundation is set, that you want to build a structure around those listings so that you look at your website, for instance, making sure that your website is mobile friendly. We want to make sure that not only is your website mobile friendly, but also you've got some social presence on that website, and that we're engaging with social media, with Facebook and Instagram and those kinds of things. And then once you have your solid foundation in your website and your social presence set, then you want to start driving leads over to your website and basically tell people that you're here. And a couple of different ways you can do that is with search. And basically, if you look here online, one of the things that we do is I did a quick search for you based upon some keywords, and I found a couple of different businesses online. You see here at the top, you've got Total Home Solution here at the top, and then you've got Zarella Landscaping up here too. And those are all paid ads. And then secondly, Dan, there's something called display advertising. And I don't know if at night you're doing, like you said, going on to ESPN. This is actually the weather service. And if you'll notice here, as I scroll down just a little bit, you're going to see some ads pop up over here to the right. This particular ad is for Ticketmaster. And we call this display advertising, and this is up there probably because I looked for some concert tickets over the weekend. I actually went to Ticketmaster, and it's following me around just kind of as a gentle reminder.
I see how that works.
Do you see those sometimes online?
I've always wondered about that. It's when they start following you around a little bit.
That's exactly why that's there. And then thirdly, there's search engine optimization, which we won't talk a lot about today, but basically what that is organically, making sure that you're showing up with rich content, keyword-rich content, not necessarily on the paid ads that we just talked about, but in your organic listing, which would be underneath the map section, and those kinds of things. So there's three different ways we can drive business to your website. And then once we've established a strong foundation online, we want to then try to simplify it for you.
Sure.
Okay. And there's lots of areas as far as with Haibu that are benefits. And one of those benefits are working with one person that can pretty much do all of that for you. And what we do is once we get the foundation up and we maintain it, then we go through Dan, and we do constant updates for you with whatever we do on Facebook, we're also going to do on your website, and if we do a display ad for you as well. Everything we do, we track it and we test it and we measure it so that you know exactly what's happening and where you're getting your calls from. And then thirdly, we want to make sure that whatever we do is relevant to your business goals and business needs. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
Great. And this is a slide that I'm really proud of, Dan. It's, I tell people all the time that, our business can become our experience can become your experience. Here at Haibu, we've designed over 513,000 websites.
Oh, wow.
We have over 138,000 digital listing management programs that we handle on a monthly basis, on a yearly basis for our clients. We've got 89,000 search engine campaigns, and the display ads that I was just showing you on weather.com, we actually manage over 35,000 campaigns for clients nationwide.
Great.
Also, Dan, one of the things that is very exciting for us as a company is that we have been recognized by Facebook, Google, and Bing specifically as the only company to be badged by all three. And what this means to you as a business owner is that we have demonstrated to Facebook, to Google, and to Bing that we know how to run effective campaigns. And what that means to you is that whatever we do for your business will result in a positive ROI for you, so that we've demonstrated that we know how to run the campaigns, and based upon those same principles, we can do the same for your business.
Good. Sounds good.
Having worked here now for the last 15 years in this market, in the King of Prussia market, a lot of my business is based upon word of mouth and reviews. And just like you, Dan, in the local community, I depend a lot on that. I work really hard to strive to give my customers a very good experience. I wanted to share with you a couple of my customers and what they're saying about me. If you can see here, this 5-star review.
Oh yeah, I recognize them.
And as a matter of fact, also the other one here is Daniel. He is with another company here in a granite company here in Pennsylvania.
Oh yeah, yep.
And both of these have been with me for over 10 years now.
And I've around, so you must be doing something right for them.
Absolutely, I work really hard to earn these reviews, and I really, enjoy sharing them with people.
Oh, good.
So I told you that I was going to do some research on your business and do my homework when I left. And one of the things that I did, Dan, is I went back and I ran several reports. One of the reports that I ran for you was a digital listings report. And basically what that is, Dan, is basically what this does is it sort of gives us a snapshot of what your business looks like online. Now the good news is that you have claimed your Google listing. And so that it is there and it is accurate.
Yeah, I figured somebody had done that.
Yes. Basically what this does is it measures the consistency of your name, your address, and your telephone number, okay? The downside to this, Dan, is that you only have a 46% accuracy, or you have a 46% error rate, meaning that your name, your address, and your phone number are not very consistent across the internet.
Oh, goodness.
What can happen with that is that it can really hurt your search results when people are looking for you, and affect the way you come up online.
Yeah, I can imagine. That seems like a pretty big error rate.
It is, and we can certainly help with that. Another thing that I looked at, Dan, was your website. And I want to hand you my phone for just a second, and I want you to do me a favor and look at your website. It's actually there. And look at your website for me, if you don't mind. Just take a look at that.
Yep, here it is. It's kind of hard to read, isn't it?
It's kind of hard to read, and if you see, you have to take your fingers and make it a little bit larger. It's just because that your website is not mobile friendly.
Yeah.
But a couple of things that I do like about your website, Dan, is that you've got your logo up there displayed very nicely on all the pages. You've got your phone number at the top, and down at the bottom you've got these little tips on there, and I like that. I would like to think I'm a better gardener than what I actually am, but I saw that and I thought, well, that's a really neat idea. Not a lot of people are doing that.
Oh, well, thank you.
Absolutely. But there's 4 things that people look for when looking at a website. And the first thing is quality statement. You know, how long you've been in business, you know, where you're from, what you do, and those kinds of things. And then speed of service, you know, some kind of guarantee, some kind of turnaround. Engaging offers, you know, free estimate, those kinds of things. And then reviews. And you showed me when I was here last week, Dan, you showed me that really nice book of reviews that your customers had written for you, just on stuff that you've saved over the years.
Yeah, I've been working on that for a long time.
Yeah, and wouldn't it be nice to be able to have that, as well as some gorgeous pictures that you have on here, so that your customers can actually see it, versus you having to physically walk in front of them and hand it to them.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
So those are some things that people are looking for. And one of the things that I would mention is that 40% of bookings are done after 5 p.m.
Oh, really?
They are, and they're done online. So having that feature on here would actually be a huge benefit to your customers, especially those who are looking to, you know, get the lawn service, the weekly service, the yards mowed, those kinds of things.
Yeah.
Also putting, you know, if you just kind of scroll down here, putting the appointment feature, like I said before, would be a great feature that would just click over, and they'd be able to make an actual appointment with you or one of your staff members.
That would be nice. That would be very nice.
Yeah, absolutely. And then two, what I would recommend, Dan, is if you look up here and you look at your services page, one of the things that is very important, and the way we build digital presence online, is we do it based upon keywords and profit centers. And with you, you have a page dedicated, one page dedicated to the services you offer. So it really almost is hurting you just a little bit online, especially if someone's looking for a specific, maybe like spring cleanup, for instance. Having a page dedicated just to that service, so that you can embed the keywords into that, would really be helpful for you in terms of keyword indicators. And then what we do, the way we build our campaigns is that if I'm looking for spring cleanup here in the, you know, the Pennsylvania area, I'm gonna have your client actually land on that page versus a generic services page. So
that makes sense.
This would be where we would want to put, you know, the goals that you're looking to achieve over the next, you know, 12 to 18 months. Your hardscaping, some of the commercial business that you're looking, and the custom patios. We definitely want to, you know, break those down into specific pages for you, versus having just a generic services page there.
Those are good ideas.
Okay, and then we talked about you know, your overall social presence, and, you know, or lack thereof, for instance, if I will. One of the things about Facebook is it does a great job, and now almost gets more visibility and more use than an actual Google site does.
Wow.
More people are on Facebook now than ever. So your overall social presence does certainly need some help. Facebook, we would put, you know, who you are, what you do. We actually go on there and do some posting for you. We can put some reviews on there from your clients. We would link over to your website, Dan, and sync that so that whatever we're saying on your website, we're also replicating on your Facebook page, as well as if we did a Twitter page for you or an Instagram page, we'd make sure that everything looks the same.
That makes sense. That's a good idea too.
Most people today, believe it or not, Dan, spend about 50 minutes on social media.
Oh, wow.
I know, right? So we need to make sure that, you know, you're properly represented there, because it's a big part of the way businesses are getting business today.
I guess so.
So,
where do they find the time? 50 minutes a day.
I know, really, I don't have 50 minutes a day to do something like that. But anyway, social media is more important than ever. And just to kind of sum it up just a little bit, your website needs some work. Your social standing, we certainly know we need to do some work there. Your listings online, the 46% error rate that I showed you earlier.
Yeah, that's bad.
We definitely need to go in there and clean that up and give that some attention. I would like to put some the ads that we saw over on weather.com, and that would just actually help to increase your presence online. And I actually did some work with specific keywords that would be important to you going forward. Some of the stuff you have on your website now, some of the stuff you don't, obviously. And then sometimes, I would notice just doing a quick Google search, sometimes, Dan, you would show up and sometimes you didn't. And being that inconsistent, you're certainly not going to achieve the goals you would want to going forward, not being able to come up for those products and services. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes, I would agree.
And let me show you a little bit about how our products work well together.
Okay.
Before I actually talk to you about what I'm going to recommend for you, Dan.
Okay.
We did a study with 50,000 clients, and it's actually a live study that we did. And one of the things that we found is having a website alone with no other product attached to it, customers averaged about 68 visitors to their site.
Is that per month?
Per month, with just having a website. When we coupled the website with a digital listings program, the 46% error rate, we went in there and cleaned that up and then actually linked everything over to the website. We found that the customers received an average of 136 visitors per month to their website. So they had about a 100% increase. And then we found that by having a website, a listings management program, and then coupling that with an online display ad, the display ad that we saw on weather.com that follows you around for a couple of weeks based upon keywords and indicators and the actual target area that you're looking to focus on. We found that customers received 249 visitors to their site in a 1 month period, so about a 266% increase.
Goodness.
By coupling the other two products on there. And then when you add a search factor in there, meaning when I'm just looking for someone based upon product, service, or area, customers received about 413 visitors, or about a 507% increase to traffic to their website.
Wow, those are some big jumps.
Absolutely. So, it's just like, the more billboards you put up on ball fields, the more likely people are to see you because you're spreading yourself across, the King of Prussia area versus just focused on one high school.
Sure, that makes sense.
So the product that I want to recommend to you today, Dan, is called the Diversified Digital Solution. And basically what that's going to give you, it's going to go in and it's going to clean up those listings online. So we're going to make sure that your name, your address, and your telephone number are all correct. We're going to go in there and we're going to get your reviews to show up online. So your customers are going to be able to go in there, and versus writing them on a sheet of paper, they're going to actually be able to go in and get your reviews and your customer feedback, and that's going to improve your online reputation as well. We're going to build you a mobile-friendly website. So no longer do you have to pinch and pull when you're on the phone. It's going to be visible like it is on an iPad. We're going to do some social marketing for you. We're going to build you a Facebook page. We're going to target it based upon your goals and that you want to achieve over the next 12 to 18 months. We're going to do the display ads online that are going to follow you around for a couple of weeks. We're going to put those together for you, and then I'm going to put some search engine keyword marketing on there for you, so that when someone is looking for custom patios in the Valley Forge area, that your website's going to show up on the top, like those paid ads that we looked at originally. This total investment is $899.99 a month. It's a 6-month contract, and it's a total commitment of $5,399 for the 6 months.
Wow, I like everything in there. I'm just really concerned about that price. I wasn't looking to spend $900 a month.
What would you change? What in terms of the goals that you're wanting to achieve, Dan?
Well, I see that obviously we need our website
Mm-hmm.
mobile friendly, and I do know social media is not going anywhere. That's important. I like the banners too. It's the retargeting that you
Mm-hmm.
talked about.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like it would be good.
Mm-hmm.
And of course Google's important. It's tough. I don't really know
Mm-hmm.
what to take out. I'm just a little concerned with that price.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, let me show you one other thing that I think will achieve the same kinds of goals that we're looking to achieve, but maybe not have as many components involved as this one does.
Okay.
We have a website solutions package, and I would agree with you that you definitely have to do something with your website. Social media is huge. You've got to be on there. We've got to clean up your listings online, and the display ads will be very, very good for you in the spring and summer because people are looking online and are starting to do some research. So what we have, Dan, is we have a website solutions package, and this is our advanced package. It's going to pretty much get you everything we talked about without the search component on here, the search engine marketing component.
Mm-hmm.
This is also a 6-month contract, but instead of it being $8.99 a month, it's $5.99 a month.
Yeah, that sounds a little bit better.
Yeah.
A little more stomachable.
So $35.99 for 6 months. And your investment is, about $300 less.
That one sounds like a much better option right now. We could always increase later if we needed to, doesn't it? Or
Absolutely,
isn't
yes.
that the case?
We can do that absolutely. After 6 months, we can revisit and talk about what we want to do going forward.
Okay.
Okay,
Well, that sounds great.
Okay, thanks.
What do we need to do?